Good morning, everyone. It's Sunday. Thank you for all of the feedback on YouTube and TikTok. What time is it? 6:34 a.m. There is a race at New Jersey Field of Dreams in Millville, New Jersey. My sponsored rider is riding. My name is Anthony, and this is my channel. And it's going to be a mix of things: controversial, non-controversial, controversial, personal, all kinds of stuff. Let me get my thumb out of the way. How about that? So today, little video is I'm going to just introduce you to my son's home computer. Let's see if I can't zoom in on this. And then we're going to get you some reading here. Let me see if I can't get this better for you. It says 016 or 020. And this is going to be kind of like 08. We're going to take this through 08 through 020, but we're going to talk about 016 to 020. The biggest question among shops is how can 4 points of oil viscosity change the performance and longevity of your engine? Well, we prove that it can. We're in the trenches every day, and we're going to tell you what the results are. These manufacturers aren't testing this oil. That's just how I feel. They're not testing these vehicles in 8,000 different climates. They're just saying, poof, put this in here, it'll work, it'll be okay. And that's why you see that on your oil cap. Okay? The data that is difficult to come by, much less evaluated. The one undisputed document in the owner's manual, excuse me, for the 2018 Honda Fit, and we're just talking oils in general. Doesn't really matter the vehicle. They're saying use this oil, and this is what you're going to get. For the 2018 Honda Fit, they should say Honda Fit. Recommends 016 or 020 API certified oil. For the 2018 Camry with the A25A FKS 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine. Oh, don't get all goofy on me, camera. Sorry, guys. Try and get you in a good spot here where it's not all jacked up. Toyota recommends 0W16 oil that meets the API SN resource conservation standards. But in the next paragraph, the manual states if 016 is not available, 020 oil may be used. So there you go. Bing, 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 bing. However, it must be replaced with the 016 in the next oil change. So they're just CYA there. This is just my opinion. They said one thing, they said another, and then now they say another. Very wishy-washy when it comes to this. It's not getting real technical and specific. Both owners' manuals and service information say OW16 is the best choice for fuel economy and cold weather starting. So you're reading this right off there. Is there an easy answer to 016 or OW argument? Yes. If you want to keep your customers happy, use 016, which I disagree with, right? So is there an easier answer for OW16 and 020 argument? Yes, if you want to keep your customers happy. This is just people protecting themselves, CYA. People who are putting out this documentation. Can you use 020? Both OEMs say it can be used in a pinch when 016's not available. So, let me set this down. So, if your vehicle takes 08, right, depending on your use and climate, meaning your part of the world and the environment, I am going to tell you that you don't have to use 08. You can use an 016. But if you're in a super cold climate, and this is where the charts come in. The charts are so important for the consumer to really dial in their vehicle. And same thing with your auto mechanic. If they know you're in an area that there's no winter, I don't understand why they would recommend that you use an 08 or an 016. I don't see it. If your climates are always, when you wake up, 50 to 110 degrees, what do you need a cold weather protecting oil? You don't. So this is where the controversial and confusion comes in. And where does this all start? With the manufacturer just saying, well, this is the U.S. production vehicles, and this is what we recommend based on EPA fuel requirements and cold start weather conditions. Okay? And then if you're in another part of the country, they don't use the same oils we do. And we have more engine failure in the United States. More engine failure in the United States. Is that for multiple reasons? Well, yeah, because we're uncovering all the reasons, and we're trying to help the consumers make better choices for their vehicle. And 08s and 016 oils are not cheap. So if you don't know, stick with what the oil cap says, but change your oil every 3,000 miles, and you really won't have too much to worry about. And then do the maintenance. They all go hand in hand. And use better top tier gasoline or better gasolines than the cheapest fuel. Most people don't put the cheapest foods or products in their bodies, right? You know what the results are. You hear professionals and bodybuilders and athletes say, "Eat clean," or the "Eat Clean Bro" advertisement that you see all over around the world. There's a big difference in the quality of food that you put in your body, and there's a big difference in the type and quality of oil you put in your vehicle. Same with the gasoline. But you can't. So I said this before in another video. We have some customers that were trying to resolve some oil consumption issues, and it's basically testing, right? Once we get to a customer's vehicle who has no clue that their engine's burning oil based on prior mechanic servicing, right? This all could have been avoided by the mechanic recommending the right maintenance intervals, the right oils, and the right maintenance services at the time that the customer's in. It's not an upsell. It's not no one ripping you off. I assure you, if I could tell you that, I don't want to tell you that you need to buy an engine because you're changing your oil every 10,000 miles and your car has 50,000 miles on it, it's out of warranty. It's because the dealership wasn't advising you properly. They don't care about you. They care about making money. I care kind of about both. I care about my customers. I care about making money. It all has to work for me. Where the dealerships, they don't care. They're going to sell another car, and there's going to be warranty work. There's going to be cash work. Some shops aren't fed that way. So if you have 08 and you're not in a climate that ever gets cold, and there is parts of the world that never get cold, and you're the type of person who is the gas miser, right? We've heard that before. If you're a gas miser, then stick with it, but change your oil every 3,000 miles. If you're talking about wear and protection, and people are going to argue with me about this, and you have a 008, and you're not worried about gas mileage, go to a 016. And you might even be able to go to an 020. You do have options. If you're in a cold climate of the world consistently, right, and you don't see hotter temperatures, then you can say, I need an oil that protects better in the colder climates, because that's the environment that I'm in. Now I'm going to throw you for a loop, right? I have summer vehicles, I have winter vehicles, I have all used vehicles. So my race car, I don't drive in the cold. It sits. Does it matter what oil's in there while it's sitting? It's not getting ran. It's not even getting started. It sits all winter. So for me, I use an oil that protects it under high performance race conditions. I'm not worried about cold environments. I'm not necessarily worried about cold starts. But if you have a daily driver that you're driving in all different climates, you can't really use the same oil that you use. So there is summer vehicle, right? Summer vehicles. I only drive this vehicle in the summer. And then there's winter vehicles. That's winter all year round, or they only use it in the winter, like a plow truck, right? So oil is really tuning to your environment and your use and abuse. My rule of thumb is, whatever the customer comes in, new customer or non-new customer, my prescription is check the box every 3,000 miles. I want to see this car. That's it. It helps you. It helps them. It helps me keep an eye on your machine. If you're the type of person that just says, I don't hit a shop until something breaks, you're asking for trouble. If you're the type of person who just drives it every 10,000 miles, and then your car starts burning a quart of oil every week, you kind of ask for it. So you need a good mechanic. Why is the timer on this so, there we go, so slow? So yes, can you go from an 08 to an 016? Yep. Can you go from an 016 to an 020? Yes. But it has to be right for your environment. It has to be right for you. If you're worried about the little bit of fuel economy, I don't really believe that it's going to affect you in your wallet really that much, versus you having an engine that lasts 300, 400, 500,000 miles that's maintained meticulously and perfect. Thanks for watching. Have a good Sunday. I'll have some other content for you.